Lie. My brothers don't die, we just rusty bark. I tell your girl to link me at the coffee shop. Getting freaky in the sheets, we're taking body shots. Then I finish with a facial just to top it off. Ay, my brothers don't die, we just rusty bark. I tell your girl to link me at the coffee shop. Getting freaky in the sheets, we're taking body shots. Then I finish with a facial just to top it off. Ay, you ain't got a clue, let's be honest. I had a couple seasons made a forest. I put in the work and take the profit. Looking at my girl like what?
Let's end it. Stop it there. We'll stop it there. You know it is. It's Eugenious, back for another episode of Don't Judge Man. To my far right, we've got Jussa, we've got Bedderz. To my left, we have Reekz. We have Dan, all the way from LDN. And we have
HE double always get to the point, but you know me, I never get to it. Let's do.
Alright. So we're back for another episode. A lot's happened. Hezz's beard's gone. Yo, HE double. HE double, don't want to get in no trouble. That baby face.
Yo, behave yourself. Man, I'm going mad. Nah.
So what happened then? What's just
It's summer, innit?
Summer's
on the way. Your man can't have the big beard, bro. This is summer, yeah? He's going for a new look, innit? It's not a new look. Yo, fam, I'm this predictable. If you go like a year back in my Facebook, I've got the same. It's basically the same trim, same everything.
Yeah.
For real.
Alright. So, first topic, beards. BeardGang. He's not having it. You're not buying into what Hezz said? What do you mean? What do you think that was? What do you think to his?
It's not even summer yet.
It's not summer yet. So you say you should have kept it?
Alright, yeah, technically it ain't summer yet.
So, what do you think you should have kept it? If it was to leave
BeardGang.
And he don't want to answer that question. Yes.
Some man with beard gang, innit? So, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, wasn't it? But
falling soldier, innit?
Yeah, falling. What, can you grow a beard though?
Hey.
I'm just asking, innit? Yo, welcome to DJM, innit?
Wow.
Welcome to DJM. No, I think it's a question, bro. It's a question. So I know you're the leader of the light skin gang. Shout out Dial, shout out NK. But I'm just saying, like,
Do you know what? I can get it, but my shit gets kind of patchy still.
Yeah.
So I'd rather keep it smooth.
Yeah, this is real.
My shit don't really connect yet.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying?
I had a mustache when I was like 15. I can remember having that mustache at like 15, 16, I think. And I just, BeardGang for life now. I think. You had a beard since beard?
moving like a
beard? Well, not just
at 13.
That is bad. I had a little moustache still. I can remember being 16 thinking I can get in clubs because I got a beard. You had a beard at 13. Actually, I can remember like playing ball and those Mansfield dudes. Like all of them had like thick beards at 13, 14. Like it was played against Mandem. Like
not from Mansfield.
No, I know. No, but let's say okay, BeardGang. So do you think that beards make males look more manly? What do you think to beards? Like, because it's a common thing now where you see.
Got beards.
Huh?
I don't.
No, but I mean, what do you think society thinks? Or females?
I don't think it's an assumption at all.
Do you know?
I don't think it's an assumption.
Do you know? You still feel manly without yours, yeah?
I feel manly, regardless. But whether I look it with one or without one, like, because naturally, men are gonna look younger, and more boyish when they're clean shaven.
Yeah.
That's the truth. When you have a beard, bam, it's associated with being a man, innit?
So
or a grown man.
So what do you think now? Do you think you can get away with a bit more for that baby face look?
This guy's trying to set me up.
I'm not trying to set. It's a genuine question. No, what about like? Do you think you just get that a bit more like? Look at him.
You know, there's a bit of urgency in it. Every time I need to change something, the trim changes.
How fast is yours, bro?
Rapid.
Yeah.
Rapid.
So I don't know if I could get the thickness if I cut mine off similar to yours. If
probably would, bro.
Yeah.
If you've been growing facial hair, like you say, you've been growing facial hair, that will come right.
Yeah. How about yours? Because obviously you're slightly a bit more trimmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready for the show, yeah?
Yeah, that's it.
Why was the voice so deep?
His whole mannerism changed.
Why was your voice deep though? That's it. Yeah.
I'm good at it. I'm
I don't know what's going on.
That's what you beard. Is yours the fast again? Wait, let him talk.
Sorry.
Yo, give him this. Yeah,
I
go
might
ahead.
take it off this summer still. Might do a little Hezz with it. I might do that. Baby face with it. I might do that still.
Yeah, he's gonna do a Hezz. Yo, better boy.
Oh my God!
Hating
Yo, hating double, you Nah, he's claimed it as well. He's claimed it.
Yo, all I'm saying is, a man said I might do a little Hezz this.
That's what you said, though, isn't it?
That's what I said.
I might take the.
It's too late, man.
Yeah.
You missed it.
So do you think beards are like the equivalent to makeup for females?
No.
No, not at all.
But I've heard few.
Because men wear makeup.
Yeah, certain man has to wear makeup.
That's what I mean, like beard fit. You know what I'm saying? Beard fit.
Yo, how does that even work, bro?
Because girl find certain males attractive with the beard, and then when they've gone clean shaven, it's like, what? Like,
Who's
that's
this
who,
guy?
yeah, who's this?
Oh, okay.
I can remember seeing a video on Instagram with a baby actually.
No hiding in it.
My brother, when he sees this, he'll know exactly who he is. So he went to a random barber's the other day. Told the barber, yo, do what's here, just follow the lines. Didn't follow the lines, made his own line. Cut off
Rule
his
number
mustache.
one, you
Cut
never
off
go
his
to a random barber.
Mustache was gone, like his top lip was naked. Naked. Yo, I ain't seen him for about 3 weeks.
He must have been.
You don't go out.
What, you maybe
Back to Sweden.
you
must
might
have
have
been
seen him,
desperate
you
for
might
a
not have
job.
recognised him. Yeah, shout out you. You know who
You know who you are.
Beard
know
fish.
who you are.
You never go to a random barber.
Random barber.
Ever.
Maybe you're older. He must have been desperate for a trim.
Ever.
Was it bank holiday? Over bank holiday?
No, it was about 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't get why I could never go to a different barber.
Not a random one.
Not a random
I just
barber.
couldn't.
I don't think I can go to
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
I don't know. So what do you? So yourself, you don't think it's the equivalent of makeup, or you do? No. What about yourself?
No.
Makeup's a lie.
Yeah.
I think it is, man.
Yeah.
I think it's a way to like conceal your face, like what you look like. Like, because to be fair, like I keep a little goatee here because I got a mad bum chin. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, all sorts. But I just got to keep a little hair here so it looks alright. Do you know what I'm saying? Most men, I got to cover my chin, but most men got to cover their face.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Wait.
Whoa!
Shout out to the thing going in the room. That's called that.
I was like, yeah. Wait, what? No, I don't. What do you think? Then? What do you think, Bedderz?
No, the makeup thing is too easy, isn't it? For a beard, it takes a bit of time to grow and whatever. But
The makeup thing ain't easy.
It's
Have
not
you seen
easy.
bad contouring before? Like some girls just splash on
saying.
like that shit is not
bad
easy.
makeup, bro.
I'm not saying you can't get bad makeup. What I'm saying is for your beard, you know, you have to put a bit of time into it.
I don't think you. I think some
3
man.
months.
I think the barber does this thing and then.
No, but some people just want it
No,
to be
some
wild.
girls are like
Yours
that.
as well.
Not
some-
everybody's.
yeah.
When I trimmed my beard off, it took me about a month to grow back. And it
Did
was
you do it
horrible.
yourself? Or you go barber?
Trimmed it off because I thought it was a bit patchy and I needed it to grow back properly.
tried to
It was
amend it, innit?
it
It
was
was
the
to lock it
worst
up.
month ever. I had to just trim it all off.
Yeah, we've
and
all
it
done
was
it,
horrible.
bro.
Yeah, it was horrible. No, it was horrible. It was horrible. The worst month ever. It was horrible.
Just about.
Yeah.
Just allow it.
Oh my.
Just my God.
So what are you thinking? Do you think it's equivalent of makeup? No.
I just do the beard. You take it off. You keep it on. That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not that deep.
HG double. What do you think?
Double.
No, fam, no. On the real though, I'm with Dan on this one. To be fair, like there's certain man that are hiding behind the beards, and these are the gal are finding them, and as soon as like they get settled in, guy decides to knock his beard off. It's like a before and after pic of James Harden, bro.
That's it.
You get me?
So that's what I think. I think it's easy now to just conceal whatever you have underneath your beards, but it also takes a certain type of man to pull off being a bearded man, being BeardGang.
That's like a shot for that.
No, I'm just no shots. I'm just saying, like, if you put a BeardGang, you know it. Yeah, or you're not. Yeah.
Some people can't handle the beard. They have to.
When I first had mine, my face used to itch. And got used to it. So.
Okay. So I think we covered beards. Next topic, the term real man. That's something what's again publicised all over. It's all over social media. Like, I want a real man, or I am real. When people say they are real, what do we think being a real man is?
I'll be honest.
Or what do you think being a real man isn't?
I'll be honest. I think there was an opinion on what a real man is, but
do you think it differs between what males might think is a real man
100%,
compared to what females?
100%. But then, in today's world, does it really matter? And I say that because I feel like the whole premise has been built on shaky foundations in the first place. Like, people have been raised to believe that only men can create leaders, or only men can create other men, and raise them that way. When really, look at some of us. Like, we've been raised by our moms and come out characteristically more stable men than the people that claim that they are better men.
Where did you see that? That people say that?
Well, it's patriarchy. So like that's what it is. Like gender defined roles where people generally feel that only men can breed leaders, or only men can raise leaders, or people that have dominant, like.
I think that misconception has been gone for a long while now.
But that's the problem. It ain't.
Because a lot of men who've come from like single parent homes will say, I am who I am because of my mum, and my mum was my mum and my dad, or whoever the parent was, and don't say whether or not that parent has made them a man. They are the person who they are because of that parent.
I think I agree, because I think we could take two instances with, we say two celebrities that have unfortunately passed away, but Nipsey Hussle. Now, people rightly so saying he's a great leader of our time and he's done all this. A lot of his work, a lot of his upbringing is through his mum. Again, Tupac.
Yeah,
a lot of his,
that's what
a lot of his upbringing is through his mum. So I think, especially two of our major leaders of our culture times, away from the politics, even though obviously they are political.
And I think traditionally as well, I say traditionally, like with recent times, particularly in America, you kind of see it where a lot of black males don't have their dads around. The dads have gone wherever they've gone, and so it is their mothers that are raising them. So I think I don't really agree.
Well, for me,
I was gonna say I've had like a lot of like male friends blame not having a dad around for the reason why they've turned out the way they are, and the fact that like they can say that I didn't really get to learn from a man to be a man. And the thing is, my mum had the same perception. Like when I was like 13, she was always saying that like, we need to bring your dad around because I was misbehaving. My mum was like, I don't know how to teach you how to be a man. But that was because of her perception of what being a man was. Do you get what I'm saying? So, which I don't think is necessarily right, because I do feel like I'm a man now, being without a father. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think that perception is still sort of there, but I think it's become a bit more like dilute. It's a bit more complicated because single women have an idea of what men should be. Peers have an idea of what men should be, and then I have my own idea of what a man is. Do you know what I'm saying?
And I think that's where I want the conversation to go. What do we think a real man is, or what they should bring? Because I think what you said is a rightful comment, where there's just so many different opinions, whether it's parental, what you think your child should become as a man, as a spouse, what you think a real man is. But I think there's a few qualities that we can obviously discuss that is apparent what is needed through males in general. So I think that's the way, because I think you're right in a lot of things you're saying. I think the conversation can keep going in terms of people's perceptions and people's excuses for things that they've done wrong or done right, using it for whatever. But I think if we talk about certain qualities that you think real men or people, just real people should have, but especially males, I feel like that could be a way the conversation flows.
To be fair, let's be honest in the room. Like, who feels or who associates being a real man with being at one with his vulnerabilities?
Yeah, I think for me, one of the key words that I use is accountability. To be accountable for your actions and your feelings, and your actions and reactions, we say. So not having an excuse to say, yeah, I did this. This is what I have to deal with. I'm going through this. This is what I have to deal with, or I've done this because of this. I think hiding or passing the buck for me isn't being real. And like, obviously you can say man, you can say female, but I mean real for me is having accountability, taking ownership.
I was about to say, but that's one thing. But once again, key word I'm saying here is vulnerability.
I don't think traditionally,
but this is what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying, because people have always associated vulnerability as a weakness when it's literally your biggest strength, and therefore anything that has anything to do with weakness, stereotypically, has been put so far away from being a man that it's caused a lot of kind of like, say for example, underlying mental health issues between men, because we don't know how to identify, or more to the point, we've not been shown that it's okay to identify with the very things that you feel, so that you can come back stronger and be able to help others with the same thing. This is what I'm saying. Like, you get a lot of guys that like say, yeah, I'm a real man because, you know, I don't get upset about anything. Alright, but when your pent up aggression ends up being an external force that causes someone else's harm, are you really thinking the same thing after that point? When either you're serving a bit in jail, or you're looking over someone that you just beat hard to death? Like what you know, what we're looking at here. But then it's those little foundations that no one really ever thinks about, but have subconsciously been put into our stratosphere. Like when does it change?
The thing is,
what does it take to change?
If you can't look after yourself, how are you expected to mentally look after anybody else? You have to be honest with yourself and be real and say, you know what, I'm feeling a bit weak about something today or whatever, and then you are able to either pass on advice or take advice or whatever. But like I said, if you're not able to look after yourself, your own self-worth, your own mental state, and be honest with people about it, you can't look after a family. How can you be there for your family if you're not there for yourself, kind of thing? It's just not real.
As I say, I think that's more of our generation going forward. I think some of the generations prior, they were allowed to explore their own feelings. That was, especially males, it was you put up and shut up, stiff up a lip, all the rest of those kind of things. And being a man or a real man was keeping your feelings, whatever they were, inside. For real. And that came with like toughness and all the rest of it. But that's not a good thing. I'm just saying that's what it was before. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? Even on a surface level, it's like what Dan said. There's gal even today that will look around and like their version of what a real man should look like affects how guys think.
I think that's the key thing. Because I honestly, seeing whether it's social media, hearing conversations, don't think that a lot of people actually know what or can really quantify what a real man is. Like, so they'll say stuff what sounds good, like I want protection. They've got to have their own house. They've got to have, like, is that really what a real man is?
Or even toxic masculinity, when they say, "Oh, I just want a man to put me in my place." What the hell does that mean? Like, what? You want me to shout at you when you want me to go out, or just say that for one time that you want to go? See, I was waiting for this guy to buy a book, you know. But, you know, I'm in it just so.
What do you think to the situation then of what do you think a real man is, or what you see on social media, what you see on social media to be?
Me personally, I speak for myself. Like, me providing for my child and being able to work and just being there, innit? Being there as a person.
Yeah, and that's why I use the word accountability, because again, not going into your situation, but knowing that regardless of if with the person that I made this beautiful child with or not, I'm going to be accountable to make sure my offspring has the best upbringing they can. making sure that this is sorted. So I think
Well,
a lot of
if you don't have children,
not to be accountable of your own actions.
just in general.
That's what, yeah. So how you live your life, like being accountable. So similar to what was said over here about excuses for, oh, my father wasn't here, so I could do this, or I could do that. Well, for me, and this is a personal thing, I had to go for accountability, thinking about the males in my family, how they are, and thinking, well, is that something I just use as an excuse to do what I'm doing, or is it something that I want to develop from and improve from and take their flaws and their pros and make better of myself? So it's taking accountability of myself and thinking, yeah, they haven't taught me this, they haven't taught me how to love, they haven't taught me this, or they have taught me this. Do I take that on? Like, is that really where I go and say, yeah, well, that's what they've taught me, that's it? Or do I take accountability of myself and think, do you know what? This is only 30% of really what I am. I might have to take the other 70% and find it myself. So I think it's accountability of not making excuses, regardless if you've got kids, like whether it's for your kids, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for your partner.
I was about to say, let's stay on that because I'm glad you went there. Jussa, right? So the same thing that you know, loud and mirror, loud and fake mirror.
It's mirror again.
I ain't gonna tell you about this fake mirror every show, bro.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah, go on.
But no, right? Let's say expanding on what you said, yeah, about like being able to provide for your family, or you thinking that part of being a man is the accountability that you have for you and your child, right? Let's say, for example, you get into a relationship, or you're in a relationship, and the same thing that you feel is the way that you need to provide for your child, the woman says, let me handle that. Does your masculinity, or what your version of your masculinity, allow you to allow the woman to do what she needs to do to be on a level?
Yes, it does. For me, it's, if she wants to do that, she can do that. But at the end of the day, I'm secure in myself and what I do and what I bring to the table. So if she wants to do that, that's cool.
That should be a team thing if it's a relationship. And,
it should be, but there's a lot of men out there that don't think like that.
There's a lot of men that don't do it.
Yeah, they don't do it.
But the thing is,
does that make you less of a man? You know, when you see certain men that don't look after their kids,
I don't rate it at all. I don't rate it at all.
And you think they're like less of a man?
I think that makes you less of a human being.
That's what
I
was going to say.
Not even a it's a problem.
It's a problem.
You brought somebody into the world, look after them.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say there are some men though that like stay around for their kids, but like the fact that they're there doesn't actually make a difference. I don't think necessarily makes you be a man.
No, you're right.
There are some parents that feel like they can just throw money at their kids. Like, as long as they can provide physically everything that they need, they don't necessarily need to be there emotionally. I personally think that being a man is about truth. Like I saw this like Shakespeare quote once. Like it always sat with me. It said, "To thine own self be true," and like that falls under the umbrella of everything, of accountability, of honesty. Do you know what I'm saying? Because even there have been times where like I've been down and my perception of being a man was like I don't tell people what I'm going through.
That's what I'm saying.
And like in like maturing like emotionally and speaking to people about how I feel, I didn't only help myself, but I also helped my peers, because they were like, oh bro, like you're going through that, I didn't even know, boom, and like that's stuff that you grow from. So I think it's just about being true to yourself. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because even with the girl thing about like, I want a man with a house. I've had a girl before that like, I'm an artist, and like it took me a long time to become like relatively successful and to like be able to like pay my bills with the art money. But before then, I was considered a waste man. I was considered a waste man for like chasing something that I couldn't really see. But I just knew it was there. But then it was like everybody else is flying out, everybody else is buying cars. Do you get what I'm saying? And then apparently I was less of a man because I couldn't provide those materialistic things. But I feel like I've been a man, and I've done being a man like from the position that I'm in now. So I just think it's about truth.
Look at yourself in the mirror, innit?
And I think that's where, obviously, that's the thing that I've seen where a lot of the conversation in terms of females saying what a real man is a lot around materialistic things. House,
no time for them.
Cars,
House, cars, and good job.
The thing is though, like I can sort of like understand the fact that like women or people in relationships like want security, and that's how they value security. Security is having a house, but you can have your house, but like there are some men that are still out there fucking like 10 million women. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and a house isn't a home unless there's love.
Exactly. So you can ask for these things and still not get it. I feel like they don't have a proper perception of what they want. So it's easy to just list some things like we've got to be able to go out for dinner and
It could be a conversation that we have in terms of what females assume we should have.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, compared to what we should actually bring. Because I think I don't know. I think it might have been you mentioned it about be mentally stable enough. So similar to what you said to Jussa about if his wifey or whoever he's with is bringing home the bacon, so to speak. I don't know if you eat bacon. Sorry.
Bacon is so
Sorry, yeah. So you should bring it over the jam roly poly.
The patties.
Yeah, the patties. You should bring it over the patties. Like, is he going to provide the mental stability through her hard days, through her turbulent times, and whether for the children again? Because I think another thing is, but even myself, I still do it working in school. I still say it a certain extent. Like if a child falls over, predominantly boys, because they're just worthless. But if they play football, fall over, like you're right, you're okay, just wipe it off. Yeah. But also addressing the fact that they may be feeling pain. Pain's okay. Pain's fine. You're crying because it hurts. That's fine.
I did that the other day with Deshaun. Like we've got like a punch bag in the back.
Well, you.
Is that you? Yeah?
Oh yeah, I was like, you as well. Did you?
Oh my god!
Yeah. Sorry. Continue.
But basically, I'm teaching him like, well, every other day I'm teaching him like boxing moves, movement, all the rest of it, right? So he takes a swipe and he misses and he hits the wall. Now, for a 6-year-old kid, like that's not used to taking a punch or feeling any form of adverse pain. Like to him, that was like the end of his world. He's like, oh my god, I can't move my hand. He's crying. He's like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, if this was me, and say for example this was my dad or this was like my granddad, I probably would have got boxed for crying. I probably would have got a lick for crying. But me looking at the entirety of the situation and understanding who my son is, it's like, alright then son, it's gonna hurt. Alright? However you want to let go of that, it's fine. But what I will say to you is if you clench your fist real hard and you get back into it and you think less of it, then you'll be just fine. He didn't believe me at first, it took a while, but then when he got there, he was cool because he was able to focus again and collect himself and then get back into the activity. Whereas like before, it's like, right, you get too lit and get sent on your way. If you want bar, you want to give you something to cry about, none of them things there. And then, you're left on your way where that could be damaging to certain man because then we are no longer in control of how we get rid of that pain or how we use an outlet. We're not in control of that anymore. It's been systematically put into us to either block it out or suppress it. Pressure burst pipes.
Yeah, I still, for me though, I still think there's what I'll do with my children or what I'll do with youths that I teach. I still say there's an element of you're okay, you're fine, but it's just knowing if that pain is a pain that they want to express further, or it's like yeah, I'm fine. Because I think I can remember, this is a personal story. I can remember I was year 6, and I came home crying. I'm not going to say the girl's name, but a girl broke my heart in school, innit? So I come home crying, mum saw me crying, and she said, "You're going to have your heart broken so many more times." And I was scared. I was like, what? Like,
I don't want to feel this.
Yeah, I was like, what? Wait a minute.
Kids playing in the background and everything like that.
And I knew addition.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can remember the day.
I was on the slow jumps.
No, my mum played a minute and I just listened.
You see what I'm saying?
Yo, allow me this. Yo, allow me.
I'm just sobbing.
Where was I with this story? Sorry. Just
back up again.
No, but my mum not really showing sort of care. Well, she did. She was like, well, she asked me what was up, but then she sort of said, "Well, you're gonna feel more." Was sort of realization like, wow, okay, I'm gonna have to be prepared for this. Do you know what I mean? So it's knowing obviously if a kid or someone's hurt, but also knowing how to address. But I don't think always pandering to a child, say, oh yeah, okay, what's wrong? Okay, lay it out.
Yeah,
that obviously that can work sometimes, but I don't feel, especially in this world now.
I don't think it's healthy.
I think if you're gonna do that, you're gonna get a lot more downs and ups in this world. But I think like you say, it's just knowing the right situation and how to handle it, rather than dismiss everything and rather than mollycoddle everything. I think it's just knowing exactly how to address each situation. But yeah, I think that's. Any other points on being a real man?
Yeah, well, me and my dad had a conversation the other day. Like, 8 years ago, we had a tumour, and it's come back. So when we was in the hospital, and the doctor was like, "Oh, it's half the size. You might need to have radiotherapy." And like, that was the first time in years where I seen a real sign of weakness from my dad, and because he's probably the strongest person that I know. But in terms of showing me that, I know it's weird to say this, but it was good to see that weakness in him, because we was able to have a real conversation about what is the next step.
Look at the wording that you're using. Weakness, bro. Like, at the end of the day, it's just a vulnerability.
Yeah.
He's understood something about himself that he's either suppressed or never thought to have thought about in the first place, and it's caused, like you just said, for him to open up and have an honest conversation about how he really feels about the situation.
Yeah, definitely.
And as a result, he's probably in more realistic spirits now than he probably was before.
Yeah, he's cool about it now. Like,
so
he was honest with himself about, you know what, I am worried about this because it has come back.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you go through these kind of operations and whatever, like you don't want them to come back. Obviously, there's always a chance, but when it does come back, you have to be strong enough with yourself to deal with it, because obviously he's thinking he hasn't just got himself to worry about now. He's got
it's the family.
my mum, me, his other kids, his grandkids. He has to be strong for everyone, but he had to be real with himself and say, you know what, I am feeling a bit weak right now. I am feeling a bit down about this situation, but it was nice for me to see that my dad is still strong enough to admit that he was feeling that low, and we was able to have a real discussion about it. Yeah. And I was able to help him through that moment, and you know, hopefully it's gone after radiotherapy, you know, so it was.
Yeah, good convo. It's still continuing from the real man. Do you think confidence is something that's frowned upon in today's society? I feel that, again, we could talk about celebrities, but I feel if even on social media, if you say something positive about yourself or about your life, it's sort of looked at in a way that is different to if you say, oh, Diddums, I'm down the dumps. If you post a status or something along the lines where it's negative about yourself, I think you get more likes than if you post something positive. What do you think? You agree?
I agree with that slightly. I think a lot of people are more willing to agree with negativity than positivity, unfortunately. Like, a lot of people won't put themselves out there through fear of what other people think. Some people think they're showing off, so a lot of people hide back and will throw out the negativity because it's a lot easier. Negativity breeds negativity. It pulls more people in, unfortunately.
But I feel like, from what I've seen as well, especially, I'm not really on Facebook now, thanks Leon Allen for that. I don't get Leon Allen, yes. Yeah, add him up in it. But yeah, I'm not really on Facebook now. But when I was on it quite a bit, I did see a lot of people who probably were wanting attention, and rather, I don't know what their personal situations are, there are any loved ones around, but what they seem to do on a regular basis is rant on Facebook about life, about partners, about exes, and then there'd be a whole heap of comments and just like so for someone who wants attention, putting something negative gets you the attention you want. Do you know what I mean?
No, I've not got a complete problem with that, only because it depends on whether this person actually really needs the attention and they're happy to receive the attention. So if Facebook's Facebook, right? So if we keep it strictly to Facebook, where it's supposed to be kind of like your friends and family on there, someone comes out and says, you know what, I've had a god awful day, like I just want the day to go to the next day, whatever.
Why are you telling the world that?
Because at the end of the day, if they feel alone in that moment and they want people to come up to talk to, that can spark a conversation. So coming back to like the vulnerability thing, they could have had a moment of like vulnerability where they feel like, you know what, I don't want to directly just talk to one person. I want to get a multiple aspect on what's been going on and then use that as an outlet.
Hezzy, you know what, fam? I kind of don't feel that people do it for them.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's some people that do, but I'm saying that there's some people that, there's some people that, like, because I know there's people out there that literally put in the world's worth of drama, and you're just like, yo, could just relax. And they're the same people that will cuss out someone that actually says the truth or an actual opinion that is firmly in line with what they've just said that they don't agree with, and they'll be like, what are you in my comments for? Fam, you just put it out there.
Did I ask you?
This is what I'm saying. Did I ask you? Or you kind of did. That's what I'm saying. You kind of did. Like, it's there for everybody who has got access to see what you're putting down to see. And if they want to comment on it, fam, that's what it's built for. Like, take the negative, take it on the chin. Or if you can't deal with what their outlook of what you just put on there, if you can't deal with that, don't put it on. Standard. Don't put it on. Or
you can't deal with it, especially not on there. Because like you said, it's open to everybody.
What's
it's a
your
platform
thoughts
for everyone.
on the?
I think it's like almost like human nature to be drawn to more negative things than positive. I was part of this like social experiment once where they asked you like think of one negative memory and think of one really positive one, and most people were able to tell a negative one quicker than they were to like recounter the positive one. I think we're just drawn to it, and the thing is, when you're overly confident, it just seems obnoxious.
That's
you know what I mean. But I do believe that there's like this new breed of like self-hate where like you can't. Self-hate is for like just doubting yourself and not being able to like achieve what you want because you don't want to look like you don't want to be. I can't. Do you know what? I've lost what I'm saying.
Kind of like you're suppressing what your potential is in order to fit in.
Because I had this Ye rant once when he was just talking about like how.
That's what I was gonna go on to.
The Ye rant was like, there's no such thing as racism anymore. It's self-hate, and it's in order to put yourself down so we don't escalate or be as great as we can be. And sometimes it's almost strange if someone tells you how great they are at something. Yeah. But like we don't really embrace these things and we don't encourage it. If they start it, it's like I do give compliments to people, but like I rarely reinforce compliments. So if someone's like, I did this sick thing, like my mate might send a beat to the group chat, and it's good. Like, but like I feel like I might have to tell him because he needs the positive reinforcement. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think it's really it's a strange one. Like negativity does breed negativity. Do you know what I mean?
I think, sorry,
no, go on.
I think confidence is a good thing, but then it can borderline with vanity, being boastful, obnoxious. Hold on.
What are you laughing about?
Hold on, wait.
It's who it's coming from. But I hear you. You're making a point. You're making a good point. You're making a good point.
Hey, you got something to get off your chest, lad?
Not even Bedderz now. Lads, go on.
Say you're saying, innit, what you've got.
What's you saying?
Man's got a saying, you know.
I know what he's on about. Genuinely don't know what you're talking about.
Cool. Honestly, you don't know what he's on about.
Okay, can we be talking about everyone in this room knows what he's on about? No, they don't. Only he was there for this conversation here.
You said it to me a few times.
No, listen, don't. Nah, listen, okay.
You're not going to address what he's saying?
I don't know what he's talking about.
I'm lying apparently.
You're not lying, yeah, but...
Have you got a saying, yes or no? And don't.
It's not a saying. Don't say it's a saying.
It's a rap. It's a rap, innit?
It's not.
What's the rap? That's the rap.
What's the rap? You're gonna have to say it now.
You're gonna have to say it now.
Are you okay with this right now? Are you okay with this right now? I need to know. With what you're saying, accountability, being honest and everything.
Accountability. That used to be real.
This guy. God.
I don't know if it's a quote, a rap, or what. It's sort of how in it.
What's the quote, Bedderz?
He's got a line in it. What he says whenever he's feeling confident and bossy.
What's the line?
He's got something that he says.
What's the line?
Feeling confident and bossy.
What
are you saying?
He's got that line in it. He knows it as well. That's why he was. That's why he's moving short.
I don't know the line. Yeah, I'm keeping 100. I don't know the line.
You're lying though, aren't you?
What's the line? Yo, what's the line?
Be honest.
Do you know the lie?
Be a real man and say what it is.
Be a real man, he has to say it.
Truth. Truth. Truth in the booth.
Okay, truth in the booth, yeah? It's not a rap.
Here comes the bar.
It's not a slogan. It's not anything of what he was saying.
Say the mantra.
No, I live by it. So no, it's a mantra.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
What is it then?
I can't remember it.
Oh,
He lives by it.
he lives by it. He lives by it.
He lives by it.
Alright.
Imagine he lives by it. I can't remember.
No, listen.
Say it.
Oh
Look
my
at him,
God.
this guy's a foot. Anyway, back to being confident.
No.
You're not allowed.
No.
What's the mantra?
I don't know.
You're a liar. So what's the mantra?
I let you have a go at it, Carl.
Yeah, go
I don't
In
remember
the
it.
past, you've tried to go at it, so let me hear it.
We say fly and fly or something like that.
Is it a
It's a
dipset?
dipset.
That's what I'm saying. Is it dipset?
This is what it is.
All day.
Go on, let's say
Hey,
it.
wait.
That's what I'm saying. It's a rap move.
Wait, what happened there? If I was all so rad, I'd throw the gap
Reekz is different.
Who is this guy?
I don't know.
You're great. No, you're
I
great
don't
at what
know.
you do.
Is it the Jim Jones?
Is that it?
Not Jim Jones, Cam in it.
So what is it? Can you say it again?
You say you're flying, I'm flyer.
No.
What's
I'm not
the
even gonna
Fly
say
or
it.
get
You got me there. You got me
fly
there.
or get flown over or something mad
What's
like
the
that.
bars?
Okay,
Say it now,
okay,
man. Get it correct.
I'm okay, thanks.
That is, yo.
Shrinking violent.
Shrinking violent, yeah.
Yo,
I just
next
don't fall to
subject.
peer pressure, that's all.
That's not peer pressure.
Okay.
Say your bars,
Okay.
innit, man?
It's not my bot.
So now let's listen to him talk about confidence, yeah?
Oh my day.
Come on then.
I'm not saying a word.
Come on, mate.
I'm not saying a word.
Come on then, mate.
I'm not saying a word.
Hey, next subject. Hey,
I'm
adjudicator.
about to talk about confidence.
Hey,
I'm going to say mantra.
Hey, host.
Could you bang it, please?
Do what? Yo, this is going to be a mad night for him. Yo, next subject today.
No, I'm not next
Why?
subject.
No, there's still more to say or not?
No,
That's
as
what
I
I
say,
want to
confidence.
say. Yeah.
Confidence is a good thing, but when it comes to being bossy and vain, that's where it goes on a bit. You get me? Oh, I was asking, so you think I'm bossy and vain?
Oh,
Do
wait,
you
wait.
think
Wait,
that? No, do you think that though? Yo, B, do you think that?
Not vain.
But bossy,
You have your moments.
everyone does.
Yeah, yours more than
What?
Others.
How? You don't perceive it as that way, but it's not.
Fam,
As
when
I
a
say,
man walks in and tells me every single
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, they might have heard it. Okay.
No, but for me, people like trying to diagnose confidence as, oh, that's close to ego, or that's close to this, or close to that. I'd like, what about if someone's negative? That's close to depression, close to this. We don't really do the same when it's negative. Like when someone's being confident, everyone's like, oh, well, if he keeps going, it's going to be egotistical, or he thinks he's a god, or he thinks he's this. But what about when people are actually negative? Like we don't say. I don't feel like we sort of diagnose the same thing when people are being negative. It's just like, oh, you be fine, or yeah, I'm the same. So yeah,
it's different.
yeah, I just think society, and it could be conspiracy. I know like there's conspiracy theories saying that everyone, like the world wants us to be like sheep, but I feel like from higher ups to our peers to people that we see, it's just so much more common to be timid and to be negative. And then as soon as someone shows any form of confidence or any form of
sort of their achievement.
yeah, or just away from the norm by saying no, I don't want to conform to that. They're just looked at as rebels or looked at as whatever it is. Just get that.
I think it happens because it affects other people's egos. So like, if I'm not as confident, if I've not achieved as much as you, and you're talking about all the things that you're doing, it would
or
make
want
you,
to do.
it could make you feel negative towards it, especially if you're unable to because you lack confidence. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How come you can do it and I can't?
Yeah, and I think that's why I think that's what needs addressing. Like
Self-hate.
what's happened? Yeah, self-hate. Like what's happened for you to be looking at someone negatively because they're confident in themselves.
It points to the person that has something to say about what they've seen. Even if it's positive, like if someone says, "Oh yeah, you know you've done great," whatever, then that supportive nature might even reflect to say that they even wish that they were on that level and they're trying to get there. Or if it's negative, it's like, I hate that you're there,
Yeah.
and I wish I was there, but I've not got the substance to go after it like you have.
Yeah,
you get me?
And I think we've all definitely experienced this, even with this format, the podcast. Myself, obviously, the amount of stuff that I have done, I'm used to getting feedback, what I want to hear or don't want to hear. But like, just having conversations with all of you, like hearing, like when we did our first couple, like people saying, "Oh yeah, this is wrong, that's wrong,"
No positive.
and it's sort of like, or this is me personally, I don't really take feedback or criticism from people who haven't done it or are going to do it or in a higher position.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, how are you critiquing something that you've not even done, or you're not in that?
See now, in this space, I see what you're saying, but in this space, like a podcast, the view, like I take certain elements of what they're saying. So if they're trying to like tell me, oh, you need to get this kind of mic, and they've never done one before, then I'm not going to listen to that. But if they're saying that, like how it repeats on them sonically and how it grasps their attention span, that's something that essentially I'm not on that side of it. I'm on the side where I'm speaking out. I'm not on the side where I'm listening. So it's like,
are you listening to everyone who's done it? Because this is the thing.
Not everyone. There has to be a commonality or something that I can understand.
It has to be someone that you respect.
Yeah. Or not even that. It has to be something that is viable. So if I'm reading that and I'm like, you know what? Actually, when I listen to this, I get what you're saying. And then it's like, oh, right. If that's the case, and if I feel like that and they feel like that, then okay, cool. I get that.
But if you're just getting feedback,
you know. I don't like it when man talk about football. Alright, well you're one guy, but I know for 2 more comments down the line, there's going to be someone that's
but that's what I mean. But I don't feel like that is. Obviously, we could use it as an example. Yeah. But I feel like unless you are, I won't even say strong mentally, but unless you're just confident in self or confident in your product,
have to be.
No, but not everyone is. But that's what I'm saying. So, for another example, someone could have a new car, whatever car. And then someone could simply say, "Oh yeah, why did you?" Or someone could have a BM, and then someone could say, "Oh, why did you get the new Merky? That was a higher car, or whatever it is, better performing car." That's for me. I want business who told me to get. I want this car, but for others, it could be like, "Oh, actually,
it's strength of self, innit? Strength of self character.
Yeah.
You go into an interview, someone tells you that you didn't perform well. You're either going to do one or two things. You're either going to perfect on what that is, or keep trying and settle with that perseverance until you do get it, or you're going to go all the way down the rails and be like, you know what, forget it, I'm not going to do this anymore, can't listen to this, or I'm not good enough, and then it's a downward spiral. Like, you get me? Like, if you're not confident in your own abilities, or you think that you can take something from that and stick with it, then.
But I just feel like in today's society, it's just harder to be confident. I feel in previous generations, there wasn't that enforcement from social media, because you could post one thing and then you could have, and I've done this myself. I could have 100 thumbs up, 1 thumb down. Like, who the hell's done a thumb down? That's like, and I'm vexed by that. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like it's just so much easier now. You get like these trolls. We talked about on the last part about eggs. But people are so quick to slate people and to like comment and say, even like the Kardashians, whether you love or like them, people, they get the most amount of abuse. I can remember one of them posted the youth, and people are slating the little baby. Like, how have you got so much hate to say, oh, that baby's ugly? Like, how have you got?
It's mad. Like anyone.
Listen.
Oh my days.
You know what it is? Because people, will be like, oh, that baby is so cute.
Yeah, but it might be to them.
Baby coming looking like Phil Mitchell. No.
Yeah, but you don't have to be the person that says it.
Why did you have to say that?
It's not your place. Like their sense of beauty for their child is more than
like
the outside.
But then on the other side, people are like, oh, yeah, the baby's cute. Just don't say anything because you know that the baby's not cute.
So you think you're helping the world by?
Not me. I'm just saying.
I
don't do the comments. I don't do the comments.
They don't need your
parent goggles are going to be different.
No, I'm not talking about parents. Like, some people would be like, oh yeah, the baby's cute, just to say it. Don't say it, because you know the baby's not
But
cute.
what if they actually be? How do you know that?
See?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, we can all see the same baby.
Might
Like,
not be cute to you.
not cute.
You're on this side. So would you comment on the baby?
I'm not
I
commenting on
wouldn't
the
go
baby
out
because I
and
don't care
comment.
enough.
Yeah.
If someone approached me and said, "Oh, just like, yeah, do you think my baby's the cutest baby ever?" If it's not, I'll say straight, no.
I'm not rude.
Yeah, but that's a bit different to what they're going out their way to go to TV.
If it's a parent,
If
they're
they're gonna ask you, at least
But if a man's come to me like,
man,
yo,
woman,
okay,
to
I
take
said,
it.
oh, yeah, like that baby's cute. I'm like, no, the baby's not cute.
No,
Baby's
but
like, you know the baby's not cute.
Okay, no, okay. I think on this baby game
We
thing.
digress.
No. Because I feel if someone asks you outright, then yeah, I'll
That's
be
what I'm saying,
honest.
but I wouldn't go
But
out
I'm
and
saying,
comment.
but if people, what I'm
You're
thinking, you're
saying when people
saying,
are going
if
horrible,
people
yeah,
are
that's
commenting,
out of order.
but if people are commenting this baby's great or amazing, and you're like, no, and you
The
don't
baby's
think the baby is,
Yeah, like
you think it's acceptable for people to comment, no, the baby's ugly.
No, but this is what I'm saying. So listen, if someone's gonna have the conversation with me and say, yo, this baby's cute,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, nah, bro, I don't think
Oh,
the baby's cute.
but
Yeah,
But I'm not gonna go my way to be
online,
No,
though,
I'm not
online.
doing that, 'cause I just don't care enough. And that's the
That's
the
what-
problem
yeah.
with
Harsh,
social
yeah,
media.
yeah.
That's harsh,
People take it as real life. Like, if the Kardashians you is nasty or whatever, I
Keep it
don't.
Keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself.
Unless
I
they
just
ask
don't
you
care
personally.
enough. Like, I don't care.
Not nasty.
Like, I don't care.
Nasty as much, you know.
Oh, because
maybe
that
that's-
thing on was it Shade Room where they do clapback?
yeah.
That gets me because like you'll get random comments and like they'll just slate someone, and obviously every now and then the celebs that they're slating claps back in it and says something.
But the joke is, listen, it's like the whole Cardi B thing. Like, she's gone against them because like there's some kind of clause where they can't really chat about her. So like she feels, so she feels that like everybody that is surrounding her is being talked about in a negative way. But like her thing to back it up was, well, if you want, as like if you're a progressive black-owned media company, right, and you want the white media companies to look at us better, and there's more than just ratchet people that commit crimes and all the rest of it, it's got to start with us. Because all your like the whole premise of the Shade Room, unless you're paying to be at the forefront of the news or the positiveness, is all negative, and it's all that ratchet negativity. So it's like, well, control the narrative.
That'll never happen, bro.
It probably won't.
Never
But
happen. Negativity sells.
this is the
That's
first.
it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And,
Yeah.
and even like, and so on the flip side of that, it's even like the boastfulness and the boastiness that sells as well, because it's that
Yeah.
lifestyle you're throwing out.
Yeah.
Like when it's not. It's
But
not
I think
real.
it sells, boastiness. But I think like sort of predicting what you want to achieve sells because people wanting you not to achieve it. It's like this is what he said, or this is what she said, and this is what they
waiting and
achieved.
plotting on your
Yeah.
downfall. It's like when people watch Floyd Mayweather. Half people
Yeah.
don't
They
watch
want
him
to
to
win,
win.
yeah.
They watch
Yeah.
him to lose.
Wait
Do
for
you
him
know
to
what I mean?
Yeah, and obviously, which you sort of mentioned, that's a lot of the issues with Kanye, where he'll say something. Obviously, it's come from the producing side of wanting to rap. People say he shouldn't do that, and it's just like self-proclaiming. People buying his records, but probably waiting for it to be bad to say, look, see, he's not the same artist. But obviously, in that situation, he's still making money from people buying it.
You know what? I think he's the one person I don't think that applies to. I think people actually do buy his album waiting for it to be great, like this greatness that they've been waiting for, and then when it's less than what they expect, they're like, oh, he's.
I don't think it's I think it's more. It's cool to dislike Kanye.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
I think
it's
it makes
cool.
it easy to dislike him. He goes out of his way for people to dislike him.
And I think for him that fuels
him.
it
fuels him.
I think that's what I've kind of realised over the years when it comes to people like him. He's a contrarian, but the reason why he's a contrarian is because he's always had to kind of like face like a block that he's had to overcome.
Just polarizing, really. That's what he is. Polarizing.
Yeah, good convo. I think next topic we're sort of.
I'm not vain, by the way. Bedderz.
Oh, what? Oh, he's still on. He's still on this. He's
still
on. Like we're changing topic.
Alright, we will. But alright, cool. We went to Benidorm for 2 days.
Story time. Wait a minute.
About 15 of us rode, yeah. Everybody's got carry-on luggage. Somebody's late. He's come with a 22 kg luggage yeah,
For 2 days.
for 2 days.
What
about?
Listen.
I'm not 22.
That's 11 kg per day.
No, I get into
He
this.
had
Oh
5
my-
pairs of trainers in there.
In case of what?
His hair gel, all sorts. Hair dryer, all kinds.
Hair dryer, yeah. Okay.
Hair dryer.
Don't listen to this guy.
Did you have hair gel in there?
Yo, Tommy, you did it. Tommy, that's what I
Ask him. He's got a question
It's
for you.
not gel. Oh my god, what's wrong with this guy?
Oh my
Tommy.
God.
But anyway, no, listen. In my defense, yeah, I like clothes, yeah. I like a few different things. I like options. So if I'm going on holiday,
You go for 2 days.
no, it wasn't 2 days.
Abroad.
It wasn't 2 days.
In a hot country
You
where
can't
you're not
listen
even
to
gonna
this
wait
guy. Look at his face.
2 nights, 3 days.
Imagine that.
2
You
nights,
don't
3
even
days.
clothes like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, you was there.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
there. Guess
Oh
what?
yeah! Oh my days!
Bedderz.
I was there.
You was there,
I didn't
fam.
come in it.
Yes, and it was late.
What did I call it?
You had the pillow
Yeah,
around
the
your
pillow
neck.
around your neck.
Stood in, walking up slow with his 22 kg
I'm not
suitcase.
gonna lie, listen, but that's how you perceive
Yo,
it.
man.
So I was
Yo,
walking.
yo,
I was
man.
walking.
Yo, man.
Wow.
I was just
there.
walking. I came up. I
Why
was
did you
late.
have 22 kgs for a
Because I
2-day
like
trip?
options.
I just want to let them. I just want to let the viewers know it is nearly 10 o'clock at night, and he's wearing shades indoors.
They're prescription
That tells you
sunglasses.
everything you
They're
need to know.
prescription sunglasses.
What is
So,
those?
I've got prescription normal
It
glasses.
was sunny outside. It was sunny outside earlier on. Hence why I've got
It's not
this
in here,
thing.
though.
Not when you
I
left
can
it.
see
Yeah.
better with them on.
Alright.
I do know there's another person in there who went. I think he went to Napa.
I went to Napa, bro, for 2
and-
weeks.
2 weeks.
And I
He
inappropriately packed.
Yo.
Tell
the story
I'm not letting man do that to me.
Wait,
He's not going to create his own narrative. I inappropriately packed. As in, I brought Tim's to a sunny location.
I brought him to the beach.
I brought
Brought
Tim's to a sunny location.
Timberland boots to the beach.
God.
What
Tim's
else,
in the
mate?
summer.
What else,
I had
mate?
dressing gown.
He brought a dressing gown to Napa. He brought a dressing gown to Napa.
And I had trousers and a blazer, black.
And trousers and a blazer.
Yes, I did.
Can we please
That was the first time I
understand
went.
that concoction?
What outfit was you
Tim.
in? Yo,
I brought trousers.
Tim's trousers.
What outfit?
what ensemble was you trying to put together?
In Napa.
What man don't understand is
Was it colour coordinated?
What do you mean was it colour coordinated?
Oh
That's
my
standard,
God.
isn't it?
The beige dressing. What colour was your dressing gown? Why did you bring a dressing gown?
To be fair, that held me down when I was out there. To be
Why? No.
Why would you think that's so? A dressing gown?
No, it was a light thing, innit?
A dressing gown.
What, silk?
Silk.
Silk, yeah?
Oh
My God.
Yeah.
Why the Tims? then? Why the Tims?
My
Because Tim's and shorts thing, innit?
Wait,
Tim's and shorts.
Did you have your knee
That's never been a
pads?
thing.
Yeah, 3/4
Knee
length.
pads.
Did you have your knee pads?
What, like he was going to work on the hotel?
No.
Yo, man, dirty.
He's going I see what you're
The
doing.
Tims and the knee pads. The one knee brace.
The one knee brace. This guy.
Yo.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. That wasn't boasting. That was just
I'm
uneducated.
not boasting.
That's like the first time that I'd been like to a man them holiday. I didn't know what to buy. I didn't want.
So you didn't know it was going to be hot?
Fam, at night. This is what I'm
He
saying.
might be climbing
At
some.
night, but not in the day. When the sun's highest.
Fam, it's hot all the way around. I didn't really.
So you thought Tim's were appropriate.
Tim's on the beach, yeah?
Fam, it's like for me. It's like wearing
Might
like
be like Latrell.
high top trainers to me.
Tim.
As long as I've got the shorts, it's live. But
As long as they got your shorts.
Man wearing work boots.
The workman boots. Like, I would have the same
Man
as...
didn't know what they were doing in it. And
Yeah,
like you know when you look at
Did
certain
you
outfits.
wear socks with them?
No, when
Did
you
you
look
wear
at
socks with your Tims?
yeah, I did.
I was gonna say that's
Did you
all
pull them
time
right
socks
up to
with
your
them.
Yeah, I was saying they long ones.
Did you pull them right up?
Yeah.
Levels, you lot
Like
thinking
it's
the absolute
no, admittedly, I went for like kind of like a New York kind of look. Like I did.
Socks and Tims.
So listen,
Yeah.
he planned out his outfit.
Tim's.
He planned out his
Snow.
outfit.
I don't do dressing
Like-
gown.
A man went for snow and
No,
rain.
to be fair, the dressing gown was the only thing I used when I was out there. That held my
Yo,
man.
one on a
When it's
Komodo.
night time, it's uncomfortable. I don't want to have a sheet over it. suggesting that was lit.
Did you use your blazer and shirt and
Not
tie?
at all. Yo, there's beard. All them things that I packed. It wasn't a shirt and tie.
Oh, I can't remember what you said.
It was just no. It was just a t-shirt. Man went out there when there was 17 in it. But at a time when man was saying, "Not tonight, lads. You ain't got no colours." This is the first man them holiday I went on. I didn't want to hear that.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I'm sorry, lads.
They was
Only
taking
two.
no risk.
I didn't
Only
want to
two.
hear that.
Only two.
I'm telling you, I wore literally an eighth. I wore an eighth of the things in my suitcase.
So this is a lesson for any youngsters watching this. He was about to go on the first holiday.
Do your research.
Do your research.
22 kg as well, man. You use it.
Not for 2 days.
Use it.
At all. You need it.
You need to hold it like guys in school.
For 2 days, all you need is a hold up, bro.
Jogging bottoms and rock horse.
Oh, not with the socks put rolled
Man,
over.
rolled them
Oh, that was a horrible look.
Did you do that?
He did it.
I didn't.
Just a tip.
Shout out to my Asian brothers that did that.
What school did you go to?
CTC, fam.
Yeah.
That was the end for that. That's what I'm saying.
That whole school.
That was the end.
No, the only brother I know that had rock horse.
I had to save up for this.
Straight Asians. Them I used to throw stones.
The
All types of drip with the rock horse.
What's it called?
Yeah, the reflective, the brown ones, the reflective.
Brown ones. What are the brown ones?
That was me, innit?
Exclusive.
Because everybody had the.
Did you play ball in them though?
One time, and I vexed myself. When he
Control more sick though, isn't it?
kicked off the front, I was
Listen,
vexed.
Wallabies were the sickest thing to
Oh,
play ball.
fuck.
Or types of control.
Yeah, that was a cheat code.
Types of control.
I've been a fly guy from school. I'm not even gonna lie. No,
Wait,
when I'm
what?
watching.
He says a flag! Oh my god, stop recording the pod.
Yeah, okay.
Stop recording the pod.
I'm
I'm
What,
One
what
of the pictures. You look at my prom,
Base numbers.
yeah. Yo, look at him. He's loving this. He's loving this.
right.
No one's argued with you. You just come out. I've been a fly guy.
Yeah, you
since-
should have
I'm
known
not
it.
one of this, yeah. And I just thought about like, yo,
You didn't have to say all that, though.
Do my thing, fam. Like, yeah.
You're proud of you.
Yeah.
Good, man. Good.
You waited till his footage drops
hate
to
on
see
the
your body
comments.
language.
The whole persona.
The whole persona when
The
this
whole
film
persona.
drops.
This is what I'm trying to
It's
say.
gonna be
It's just me.
mad.
Just you in it.
What was your attire like in school? Did you have your church shoes then?
Oh yeah. You're the no shoes guy as well.
No, my skin in the church shoes.
Did he have white socks on him? He didn't have white socks
I
on him.
don't know.
This is why you don't wear shoes now, isn't it?
We wore Reebok workouts. I don't know if you man were on those.
Oh yeah, we did.
The all black trainers.
Yeah, they were allowed still.
Except
you
for
were
that was a
allowed
bummy uniform. I went as fresh as 22 kg.
kg.
I was just a young nigga trying to live.
Humble, innit? Humble.
I got things
I give you a rapper name, 22 kg, like it's 21 Savage, man. What you mean?
22.
Maybe you still 22 kg.
Yo, I need to stop calling you that still.
Come on, the vex, innit?
Listen, Reekz aka 22k.
Oh, wow.
Just kick me. Anyway,
That's a Komodo.
22
No.
carat magic.
using that 22
No, that's right.
Oh,
And I'm not even gonna lie, I'm going IB for this year, yeah? And I paid extra for 22 kg.
Wow.
How long you going for? If you say 2 days.
You don't-
30th to the 4th.
You don't need all that,
Bro, you never
All
been.
you
Have you
need
been
is
IB for?
shorts. Yes, and I've been to Ayia Napa, and I've, yo, fam.
Yeah,
oh,
we
when
went
I-
Ayia Napa with Tim,
right?
so you can't say no.
But
You
I
brought-
went Ayia Napa-
I know what
Ayia
you
Napa
got
after.
to say.
No,
blood.
no, but I went Ayia Napa after and learned my lesson, blood.
Did you bring the Tims and the kimono again?
No, I didn't.
Yo, talk about
I realised. No, I realised.
That's different.
Just tried it.
With a blazer.
Hey, I live my truth, fam. I live my truth. That's what happened.
Accountability.
That's what happened, bro.
Yeah,
That's
true.
what happened.
Yeah, real
When
man.
I came back and when I started going on real holidays, fam. Man, don't need the 22 kg. You need a pair of shorts. You need a few pairs of shorts. You need like probably some light trainers for the night, but not flip flops in the day.
That was good advice.
And then bum.
Is the
Light
holiday
t-shirts
guy
on
in
vest.
it?
Bum. No
That
t-shirts
holiday
in the
guy.
pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, blood. Headband if you need it. If you want to style out. Yeah, if you want to style out.
Styling up.
Wait,
If you want
what?
to style out.
Bandana,
Headband.
yeah?
Style
What,
it out.
Are these two
Headband.
having a battle? He's having a subliminal battle, you know.
There's only one winner, mate. I'm doing it on less than 22 kg.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Wait.
Hold on.
Challenge.
Going to
Okay.
Bucharest.
Okay,
Going to
okay.
Bucharest.
I just
staying
do it
fly,
like if that's how you
Alright,
do it.
guys, we're gonna have a little
Challenge.
look. What a vote! What a vote!
Up the
Who's the
vote.
most stylish out of these two?
It's him. It's Reekz.
Oh, now they're both being
negative
humble.
now.
Now they're both being
I'm not
humble.
being humble. Yo,
It is.
you don't know me.
I ain't got a single
Who knows
fashion
you?
designer brand on me right now.
Oh my god! Oh
I don't.
my god! What was that?
I don't.
There was no need.
There's a shot there.
I
Man.
don't.
Allow me.
I ain't got a single one
A
on.
man's got a studded jacket on and he's saying,
It's a Boohoo special, bro.
Boo, that's the name though, isn't it?
Not like not a high fashion brand that ain't.
This is ASOS.
They're still battling.
Still battles. Yeah,
No
man.
battle.
Boo! It's ASOS.
Both.
They're still battling.
No battle here, man.
Alright, so you think you've won?
No, I don't lose.
See? See?
Bossy.
I let Hey, I was waiting for it. Alright, for myself, no.
Alright, next topic, moving on swiftly. X Games. Okay, do you think your homies can still be cool with your ex-partners, ex-girlfriends? Do you think it's cool if they talk to them, if they... What are you saying, cancel?
Cancel that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with you, bro.
Can
Cancel
you-
culture.
When you're saying cool, what do you...
Like, do you think they should be still in that circle, whether it's civil...
In the
talk?
circle, no. Like, I think you can say hello, goodbye, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
and
yeah.
Just be cordial,
Yeah, yeah.
be friendly, but not OTT
It's in
with
your brethren.
deep conversations and all
Yeah,
that.
Right,
right, so...
I'm gonna say the unpopular thing straight away.
Oh no.
No, listen, it depends on how they were introduced as a form of couple to couple.
Yeah.
So like, if you bring, say for example, if you bring your girlfriend or your significant other in a house with me and Makisha, and to the point where those two have developed a friendship, we've got no choice. At that point, whether you're out with them or not, we've got no choice but to converse at that point, because like after when you're done, those two girls are still friends. Like, I'm personally not like hollering, reaching out to him or anything like that. Not me personally, but I could come home and she could be in the yard talking to the missus. That's
So
a
what are you
that's a-
gonna do?
that's-
You're just gonna say hi and then go to another room, or you're gonna be like in there?
more time. More time. I leave the girls to talk.
Talking and
What
that.
about
Threesome.
next time?
Gossip.
Free
What
some
about
ladies?
next time?
What do you
No?
mean?
Wait. That was a great question. Well, I don't know what you said.
No.
Wild.
No.
Wild. That was
Especially
wild.
But,
Rewind back over to
okay,
this
we'll
way.
go here first.
Yeah.
Keep that there, though. What was you saying?
You said more time, you go
Yeah,
to
but
them, so I'm saying less time.
But the
What's
less time, because it's my house. If I'm looking just to chill with my wife or talk to my wife or whatever, or it's been a mad day, like a Friday or whatever, and like the vibes are off, and she just happens to be there, then I'm not going to be evicted from my kitchen, fam. I'm trying to talk to anyone, so therefore it's going to happen.
Do you
It's
think
not
there's
just-
conflict of interest, though? Let's just say, for example...
It depends on how. It depends on what happens.
Let's say
Give me a
Reekz.
scenario.
So say Reekz. Say Reekz has brought his significant other to yours, and they've split up. Now,
He's smiling.
You got shook for some reason.
I just don't know where that's
because you're next to me, innit? So then, they split up, and then Reekz is telling you about his holiday, and he brought 22 kg with him for 2 days. But then and then you've gone home and told wifey, Keisha, love you. You've told wifey, and then like his significant other or ex has come around another day, and like your wife is telling the ex, oh yeah, you know Reekz has gone on holiday, he brought 22 kg on this, he did that. Do you not think there's a conflict of interest then, because something what's personal to your friendship that you're sharing with your wife, which is obviously your soulmate, is then getting passed on? So is there a conversation that you have with Keisha in terms of, all right, yeah, I know you're cool with this person, but like there's some stuff.
100%. Like, it's one of them things where I say, listen, like, these are my man them, innit? Like, if we're having a conversation about something that is in the public domain, so it will never be something that man them talk about in confidence. If man are talking like that, then it doesn't even go to wife it, because it's none of a business. I'll say that from the jump. But if it's something like, something banter just happened and everybody kind of knows, or anyone that knows all of us in a group knows, and she's cool to hear about it, then it's one of them things where I say to her, or I'll be saying, listen, anything that I say about my man, like, it's because we're talking as a husband and wife. It doesn't need to go back to her. And if it does go back to her, and lo and behold I find out about it, then you're gonna have to risk it in a sense to say that I might not feel that I want to tell you anything. And that will be an indictment on her. She will feel more terrible over the fact that I won't say anything to her, like in a general chit chat about anything that I hold close to me in a conversation that should be between us, and I'm freezing her out, than anything else. She'll be distraught over that. She won't.
So you'd still allow the friendship?
I can't tell her who to be friends and not be friends with. It depends on how you split up. If you split up and it was a clear madness, if she was like, I don't know, let's say like your girlfriend was like, I don't know, beating you up, or if she was like I don't know, making your life hell, or you know, really, really, really getting down onto you and whatever, like, not a chance. I'll be saying to Keisha, fam, she's not coming in the yard. Like, don't ever, like, she's cancelled, bro. Because at the end of the day, she's made my boy's life a living hell. And
that's
she's
her brethren.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
that's sort of
but
contradicting.
But no, it's not really, because with Keisha, she's also aligned to that premise. She's known you longer than she's known the gal for. And if she knows that, say for example, she's done all that, and I've told her that she's done that, her compass is in the same is pointing in the same direction as mine. She will cancel her clock quick and say she's never coming back in the yard again. Now, if it's something that isn't straightforward, like just a normal split, because you know there's been like, I don't know, let's say there's been, I don't know, infidelities on both sides, or there's been like, oh, we're just not working out, or anything like that, and you'd rather like no one know, you know, about the personal business and whatever. Cool, we say that from the jump. And if she wants to remain to be friends with them, I can't dictate that, because there's been no real violation that warrants a full cancellation.
Within your friendship groups, have you guys ever had like a girl that's broken up with one of the guys, and then she's like made her way back in for another side, and then she's fucked up a friendship group?
You know what? I don't think that's ever happened with any of them.
It's yeah. I've had certain friends that females have tried to penetrate different sides in whatever capacity, and then it's friendships have been strained and ruined due to it. And I feel for me it's I just feel like I think loyalty and just knowing not getting yourself in trouble. Like for me, if there's a situation where one of you, I know that one of you lot have broke up with someone, and it's a point where you dislike that person, or there's something there what triggers emotions that you don't want to show, or you don't want to express out all the time, then I would, as a friend, I'd make sure I back away from that person. And even if my significant other is friends with that girl,
that's on them.
I'd say that, but I'd be like, do you know what? I don't really want her around while I'm there. That's cool. Like your friend, because of the situation.
Just let me know beforehand so I can not be around or whatever.
No, I think that's
there's space.
Yeah.
Listen, I've got a similar kind of situation, like with me and my missus and whatever, and then a friend that was mutual to us both. I knew them longer, but then there's been things that have happened where I don't mess with them anymore, but their friendship is still cool. And like as a result of that, I make sure that I'm nowhere to be seen when that person is around, because for me, I've locked that energy off, and I have nothing to do with it, and I'm cool with that. If they want to still be friends, what our issue has nothing to do with Makisha, so therefore I let them do what they're doing. But I've said from the jump, if she is going to be in the house, because it's your house as well, you need to tell me, because I'll rather not be there.
Yeah, I'm confused. Who is the person to you? Your friend, but one of your friends is ex?
No. So I'm just saying, like, as in, like,
a friend of it.
Just somebody you don't like. Oh, I thought you meant, Well, what's your take on this? What's your take on this, Jessa? Are you cool with people being cool with your exes?
Yeah, I'm cool with them, man. Life's too short, man. Excellent. So
yeah, okay. Cool.
I mean, I used to feel the same way, and like I had like a long-term relationship with this girl, and like because she was like always hanging out with me and my boy after we broke up, she did ask me. She was like, "Can we still hang out?" And you know what? Like, I'm not into like picking sides or being like, you can't talk to this person. So I said it was cool, and then I moved in with my guy like 2 years ago, and it got to a point where like he's going out with her and also coincidentally passing information on not on purpose, but like it's like, Dan's living with Dan, like what's he doing now, and like certain things was coming out about me which I didn't really want to know, and I don't really want to come home to my house and she's in the yard because I'm really like, you need to get out.
Yeah, like boundaries, isn't it?
He should have kind of, and he should have dressed back. That's on him, because if you've introduced him to her, that's for him to be like, alright, cool. That ship's kind of sailed. They may have had a friendship, but boy, like I've known you longer, so, and I know where your feelings are, especially if it's a long-term relationship. It's just a thing, then whatever. But if it's your girl, like, you have to dress back, man. Like, you know, that is. So
I did end up in the end telling him that like I don't feel comfortable with it. Do you know what I'm saying? I think you should.
What did he say?
He was like, cool. He was like, my bad. He was like, I didn't know you felt that. And I didn't know I felt like that until I was closer to the situation. When I was far removed from it and I was just in my own ends, like I'm from North, he's from South, and then he does things. I don't know when he's with her. But now that we live together, trying to hold up my boy, and he's like, I'm out with your old girl.
That's
mad. It's a bit weird.
Come back tonight.
Aaron mashing and also but so that would bother you though, innit? That would bother you.
What would bother you?
You would hear them mashing, innit? And like,
imagine what happened.
The thing is, you know what she likes and stuff like that.
I went with her past my old girl. My bad. I went past you, like you're a snake. So.
Hey, shout out to that.
But on the same time,
shout out to the exes.
You don't know now how long he was waiting to get with her either.
That's what I'm saying, because it was long term.
If it was long term, they shouldn't be getting together. So he could have been like, yo, she's fine. I'm praying on the breakup.
Friendship should have been ended. Like that's mad. That is mad to me. There's no way. Because how you bonded that well with someone? That's your man's. Yeah,
but you've been around a minute. If there's anyone,
they've now got together.
I'm not saying it makes it okay. I'm saying, like, in answer to the question, I'm saying that if there's any way that someone could get to know each other outside of the usual means, it's gonna be through somebody that's closer. It's gonna happen. You're gonna know things about them.
He should be waiting. He's waiting for them to break up and got with her.
You're saying you don't see how that happens, but that's the perfect way for that to happen.
Man going on like cinema dates and going for dinner, and that's weird.
That's
like,
what
stop that.
It is weird.
So even if it was me, like if it was like reversed the other way around, and like me and this girl were cool, like if Eugene had a girl like me and her like were cool, and like he broke up with her, like I wouldn't not talk to her. Like if I saw her, bumped into her, I'd always say hello, be cordial, and like if I saw anything happening to her, like I would think of like what would Eugene want me to do, so like I would help with any sort of situation. But beyond that, we're not pals, we're not friends, we're not breading each other. Like it's cool.
He definitely won't want you to get with her.
That's
for damn sure. You know that.
Fam, there's far too many gal in this world to shit on your doorstep, fam. But it don't make no sense.
Some men don't have the confidence. You know what I'm saying? So you got to belittle someone else and slide on in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I told you he wasn't a good guy. He was doing this when you was with him. They are horrible.
Yeah, shout out you, man. Shout out you, man. Yeah, you, man. Yeah, you.
You know.
Dirty Mackie. Dirty Mackie.
Yeah, you know you are. Alright, on a lighter note, guys. On a lighter note. Game of Thrones! Game of Thrones! Yeah!
Fun Game of Thrones.
You can't say something now.
I'm on the same.
I don't
dog.
I'm out.
Some Dungeons and Dragons thing.
Do you watch Game of Thrones?
Do you know what Dungeons and Dragons is?
You love Game of Thrones? Yeah? You like Game of Thrones? Yeah? 3v3? Better. Yeah, better.
Once again, it's hate, innit?
No, it's not. Why is it hate?
I swear that I'm in a group.
Let us live in it.
I'm in a group.
We're like a TV show. You don't have this much vim for other TV shows that you don't watch.
I'll tell you why. Because I'm in a group right now, yeah? And man are talking about this thing like it's real life. Like it's real. Yo, where's my phone?
Because they're invested.
Hold on. Check this.
Why did he whisper that? Man, I'm talking about this like it's real life. No, there's no witches around there, you know. You don't want to get no
White Walkers.
What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say it's not the group D in, is it? Because boy,
No, wait.
No, but listen, Game of Thrones.
It's like anything. If you like something that much, you're gonna be invested.
Bro,
in this.
it's a TV program, blood.
Yeah, but I don't understand how it
That's
bothers you. Why? What does it bother you?
That's what I'm saying.
Bothers me.
It bothers me because people that watch talk about it and talking about this bit incest in it, Dungeons and Dragons.
That's not it.
I'm
Right,
not
listen,
interested.
that's what you say,
Oh,
it's
once
bit
you said that
incest.
to me, that's it.
It's not serious.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Yo,
why
a man
can't
said
it-
the whole thing is a mind hook. I seriously might have to watch it all again and get the references.
It's like 8 seasons.
It's just not that serious. It's a program.
Did you watch Power?
No, yeah, I watched a bit of it, but I wasn't bothered. You see, listen, I stopped watching it halfway through. I'm just not bothered. I can't be invested.
Do you not
in
watch
stuff.
TV?
Yes, I do.
What do you
I'm
watch?
not invested
What
in
do you
stuff.
watch?
Favourite TV,
Yeah.
like, that's your thing.
I ain't got a favourite yet.
He's a liar.
Yeah,
He's
he's
lying
lying
again.
again.
He's lying
This
again.
guy here.
I
What's
got
your
a
favourite TV
favourite.
show?
I can leave it.
Alright, what
Yeah,
have
but
you
what?
what have you watched? What have you watched
I've
into it?
been hooking with that Black Mirror thing. Yeah.
Right.
And
Oh, you watch it?
yeah. No, Carl, you man.
Yeah. I was saying so.
Excellent.
Yeah, okay, that hard.
Yeah. Okay.
No, Jordan Shaw, I kind of with that.
Jordan Shaw?
No.
Jordan Shaw.
Listen, I'm not bothered. I'll take it or leave it. But listen, I'm not going to be in a group like, yo, did you see what them lot did last? Can you believe? I'm not bothered.
So
genuinely
your
not
problem
bothered.
is
That's
opening
still.
up the conversation
That's
about
still.
a TV show.
What?
So the energy that people show towards Game
Yeah,
of Thrones.
it's weird to me.
That's the problem,
That's
not
weird
the
to
show.
me. That's weird to
Is
me.
it the show or what?
I've never seen the show, so I can't.
No, but that's what I mean. So the
it's
issue
people's
is
energy around it. Like,
It's the same kind of
beast
energy
it.
people
Like,
have for
I'm
sports
saying to
and-
man,
and
I can see these man halfway going and start doing that LARPing on the blood clot forest blood. And dressing up and pretending that there is.
You know that
that's
they're
how
not.
man. The way the man are
role
talking,
models,
the way the man are talking about this thing, fam. They're going on like it's real life, like the dungeon or the dragon or
They're
whatever.
talking
it
about
was,
what's
fam.
happening.
It's just fake, blood.
They're
It's
talking
fake.
about what's happening on the show.
You
I
can't
don't
be that
understand.
invested. You cannot be
who
that
did you speak to? Hezz about it.
Nice, but yo, fam, if I was to go through this group, I've been just trolling, man. 'Cause I just don't understand. I don't get it.
I don't watch
get
it. It don't
You don't
bother
get
me.
it 'cause
I
you
don't.
watched
It
it,
don't
bro.
bother me. I ain't got the same energy.
What
he's
shows
got.
do you two watch then? What do you watch?
I didn't really watch shows to that, but
That's what I'm saying.
recently it was big nasty shows. Well,
Yeah, I
watched
watch
it.
Nasty shows.
I've seen Power.
Never seen Power. Didn't I?
I have.
For me, no. Or Empire was up.
No, I've never seen Empire.
Oh, no.
I've seen Empire.
There was some more there.
Jussie.
Is that what it's from?
That's what it's
You know
from, man.
what's mad?
Yeah.
When the footage drops on that, when they see you whip your head around the way that you just did then, man, slow it down. I just dissed you.
Wait, I don't Empire.
Acting.
I like Kanye.
Yeah, so you're Geordie Shore, X on the beach.
Which is mad to me because
That's what you said.
yeah,
You watch.
no,
you said
No,
that.
I'm not
No,
going through what people are
And,
watching it.
and that's the fakest version of real life. Like that
That's
doesn't
what
happen.
I'm saying to you, but I'm not bothered though. Like I watch it with a pinch of salt. I'm not bothered. I'm not going to be talking about it like, oh, did you see it? I'm not
Some
bothered.
people
So
are.
it's not the content. Is it not the content then? Because at first
Yeah,
it's like
I think-
Dungeons Dragons, but now you're
That
like
does-
you
yeah,
don't mind
you don't
building.
like any show.
You just
Like,
You don't really like any shows.
Can we give a shout out to Walking Dead?
Yeah, I just watch what I'm watching. Like,
Shout out
I'm
to
not-
Walking Dead. That's what I watch.
Walking
I ain't
Dead.
seen
I've
that.
never seen that as well.
Is
Well,
that
zombies.
is that not a bit?
Is that
that's
zombies?
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
But I don't put that energy of hate into Game of Thrones. I just don't watch it.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not bothered about it.
I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
get
just not
people's
bothered about
energy
it.
around it. It's just weird. Like it's almost like a cult with it. Like
I don't talk
Man,
about the
man.
zombies either. Like,
Who do you think's gonna die then, guys?
I think bare people are dying next week. White Walkers are back in it.
I'm
The
not
Ice
gonna lie, I know
King,
this sort
the
of
Ice King
big
do
up
it.
all
Like
day,
everyone
yeah,
down,
yeah.
man.
One name.
So
man
literally,
told me to watch it.
so like for eight,
gonna what?
it's the eighth series.
It's the final one.
It's like the final one, like final
What
series.
episode? Like hour long.
Yeah, near enough. Yeah,
Like most
this one's
shows.
supposed to be like
Most
an
shows
hour
are about
and a half,
45 minutes to an
Yeah.
hour long.
And how many is in like one season?
on season.
It's varied, you know.
8.
Like
Yeah,
12,
yeah,
8 to 10,
yeah.
8 to
there was
12.
like 7 in the last one. wasn't it?
That's a lot of
They
hours,
weren't
yeah.
watching the last one.
to be fair,
And like literally, what it is everyone's wanting to, or a lot of families wanting to rule the world, near enough. But then within that, there's different like people, not different dragons.
Only one
Snakes
family
and ladders.
has only one family has dragons.
Yeah,
that's literally.
Do you know what I mean? Only one family has dragons.
Yeah, but you're saying the whole thing.
You just trolled me. Okay, can you explain what Jordan Shaw's about then? Let's listen. I tried to explain to man.
He doesn't care about Jordan Shaw.
I was explaining what Game of Thrones is. You're trolling me behind me.
saying
I want you to explain what Jordan Shaw's about.
There's no Dungeons in Dragons.
Yeah, can you tell me what it's about? What's the premise of the? What is it about?
People going out just doing their thing.
What's the thing?
Whatever that thing is, you get.
Touching on like.
You watch it too?
Would you ever go on Jordan Shaw?
I watch anything, bro.
Have you been to Newcastle?
Yeah.
You've been to Tupta?
Yeah.
Is that where the? Isn't that where the?
You're a
shit-
dickhead. You're a dickhead. I only know you
I'm just saying.
That's why I don't like Game of Thrones, because you can't go to Winterfell, blood.
I ain't been to the north. I ain't been to the north. He's been to the north. He's the king of the north. Man's king of the north. Yo, Reekz, no. Reekz, no, mate.
No, mate, Reekz.
Reekz.
Game of Thrones references all.
Man, trying to be Winston,
Man, are
yeah?
geeking out.
Listen, I'm
Man,
telling
trying
you
to
that.
be Winston, yeah?
No, I'm telling you
Newcastle,
that.
better.
If you look at who Reekz is,
So you've been to Newcastle,
In
yeah?
Newcastle. Did you bring your 22 kg suitcase?
I'm not gonna lie. Listen, I bought a lot of luggage. I had a lot of
A lot of luggage. Is that mentally?
What?
Yeah, a lot of luggage.
No, bless.
One night, you know.
No, I was there for 2 nights still.
So in terms of binge TV, we've got someone who don't watch TV apart from
Everything.
reality TV, bro.
and then we've got Walking Dead. You said
Yeah,
Big
Love
Nasty
Island,
Show.
yeah, with that.
Love Island as well. Yeah, there's a common theme, really.
I like to see people just going mad and stuff like that. But that's more real life than
It's not
Dungeons
What do
and
you mean real
Dragons.
life?
It's not though.
They're actual people. They're
It's
not
a-
characters as such.
They are.
They are
what-
characters.
Okay, they're
That's
characters
the problem.
of themselves, yeah, of themselves,
Yeah.
yeah, and maybe more elevated characters of themselves. However, there's no dragons gonna
You
just,
keep saying
just gonna
dragons.
pop up.
That's all you keep
It's
saying.
That's
probably
what I know of it from this
Man
Dungeons
don't like
and Dragons.
dragons.
I don't up with Dungeons and Dragons and snow or whatever.
You don't mess with snow. A real weather. Alright.
You don't fuck with snow.
He's not coming out of winter. You don't fuck with snow.
Man said I don't fuck with snow.
Fuck's sake.
They fuck with dragons and snow.
Oh my god.
You got a question there?
Have you ever liked a film before then? Like, you ever watched?
Yes, bro. But
So do you like Training Day?
But listen, right? I won't go mad over it like how man are. Man geek out over this thing, bro. Like honestly, like I swear that if I could read through this thing that I'm on about in this group, I was thinking to myself, do I know these man? Like these man are beasting.
They're invested in the show.
You can't be invested.
Why
There's
not?
more things going on in life.
Okay, and
Like Game of Thrones is not life.
Fam.
But what about they just enjoy it?
That's what I'm saying.
Man, no, it goes more than that though. Man are beasting.
Let man live in it. If that's how they want to.
Come on,
If that's how they want to.
There are sports networks for people that use sports as a narrative. It's the same with TV programs.
And
If
remember,
people
I've
were
always
watching
said,
if it didn't exist.
listen, if you look at the theme from what I was saying through all the things that we've spoken about, yeah,
It's the dragons, innit?
No, TV, sports, and that. I just don't understand how people and social media, how people are so invested in other people's things like that. It doesn't make sense to me.
It's entertainment, isn't it?
Why?
Do you like Avengers?
What's that? Oh,
Did
the-
you say
the-
what's
the
that?
Marvel thing.
Yeah.
He said, what's that? You don't?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I
so
don't care for
To
it.
be fair,
Do you like Hulk?
No,
You
no,
don't
no,
like
listen,
Hulk?
the Hulk.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Why the
any
Hulk?
I don't care
character.
for it.
Why
Like certain man will have a
Why the
favourite
Hulk?
Avengers team. No, I don't have a favourite Avengers. It's just a kids thing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yo, to be fair, I'll give him this. He's consistent. Because
Yeah, I was trying to check for him.
these
Yeah,
are all
consistent.
things.
Like,
that
take
are-
me out.
Take me out, it's bad though. What do
It's
you
right.
mean?
Oh,
I'm
no,
trying
like,
to take
you
you to
know,
Fernando's. No like here, no like here.
No, as I say, them
No, I
things-
think I'd
them
get the
things like
theme in it. Like,
Yeah,
blind
yeah.
dates. You like Naked Attraction?
Yeah, Big
Oh,
Brother.
no, I don't watch that.
You don't watch Naked
You
Attraction?
don't watch that because you're afraid to see the next man's things on TV,
I'm
innit?
afraid. It's not about afraid. I just don't choose to watch that. I don't need to see that.
So, Geordie Shore, Take Me Out, Love Island,
Big Brother as well.
Big Brother,
Nah, Big Brother's like long.
Bachelor.
Pop star. I don't watch.
For real though, I'll tell you this much. The latest season of Temptation Island that's just done.
I've not even seen that.
Fam, it's the
I've
maddest.
never heard of it.
It's the maddest thing I think I've ever seen on TV.
What channel was that?
It was on.
That's energy, though. That's energy.
What channel was it on?
I think it was.
Oh, you're going on like the Mandarin.
Oh, it's real life. That's real life.
Favorite character that. But no, as I say, with stuff like that, I just take it, leave it. I just feel that people get too invested in it, man. It's mad to me.
Okay. Before we get on to Fergie time, quickly let's go over Stormzy. Obviously, he's got a new track which we played on the intro. Vossi Bop, I think it's called. It's got a festival, Merky Fest. Mm-hmm. Which one of you man are going? Is anyone going? You in? You go?
We went last year, man.
What was it saying last year? What was it?
For me, it was the best festival that I've been to. Like, the whole vibe of the 2 days was just fire.
Who did they have performing?
Fredo.
This year or last year?
Just
Cracks
UK.
and Conan.
Just literally just UK.
Young Team
Bugs. Most of London was there.
Yeah,
that sounds hard.
Like, it was fire. Best thing that I've ever been to. Like,
it was nuts.
The vibe was nice.
Yeah.
No beef.
Trouble. It was just
Everybody was just on a nice, calm mellow.
Was that during the World Cup?
Yeah. England were playing on day 2, was it?
I think so,
Day
yeah.
1.
They had the penalty shootout by the.
Yeah, the penalty shootout was going on.
You know, I'm not into football like that.
Yeah,
I was.
He actually stopped performing.
Who?
Whilst
Reekz.
Yeah, I knew
whilst the penalties were going, he stopped performing, and like it was just mad. The whole vibe was just sick. The best thing. So I can't wait to go in the summer. Like, hopefully it'll be just as good as
The same acts as last year.
Somewhat.
Fredo's going.
Fredo's there.
There's a few different ones. Dave's going to be there.
That should be good.
Jay Huss might be back in it.
I think so. I think it's going to.
They weren't on the lineup, but
I think they're going to dash that in. You get me? Because I think there were some people that were there that weren't on the lineup in it last year. So I know certain people want Stefflon on there as well.
Steph London's an exception to the rules.
What rule?
Rule of what?
What rule?
Any rule I can put in place, she's lit.
Huh? Are you just making stuff up?
No rules.
To the fool, innit?
You and Keisha got a rule?
No, it's not like that.
Okay.
That was mad. Is it like Fight Club? So where does Stormzy rank in man's list of like UK artists?
I don't think he's up there.
I don't rate him. Not I don't rate him. I just don't listen to him.
No?
He's alright.
Yeah?
I don't think he's
top
the
5?
best.
No.
Probably not top 5.
Yeah, but what are we rating on? As
His
in
album
artistry,
was- his
or
album
are we
was-
rating, are we rating just as
solid
bad?
body.
Because that's a tough one to
I think
mix up.
commercially though he's quite high. I think he's like in a similar lane to like Kreps and Conan.
Yeah,
like,
I think he's above them.
I'd say
Commercially.
I think Kreps and Conan are a bit high. Well, commercially, yeah. High,
Commercially,
it's a
it's better
similar
than
lane
Kreps
of
and
like
I think
kind of pop
he's a
rap.
household name.
Yeah.
That's
Is
the
Kreps
thing.
and Conan though?
Nah.
No.
You don't think so?
Not
like
compared
that.
to them.
Not like
Man
that.
has been on Jonathan Ross.
Stormzy could go to a Brit Awards and win something.
Yeah.
I can see him getting like a knighthood or something at some point.
Yeah.
Like they love him, bro.
So do you think as an artist he's quite high, but then as for lyrics or bars,
It's better.
yeah. So would you say he's probably top in terms of being an artist? Just a top grime artist.
He's done well for himself, hasn't he?
Top grime.
Makes
top
good
grime.
money.
Oh, what do you class him as?
He's evolved from grime.
Yeah, that Vossi Bop's not grime, G.
That's
Yeah.
swag
That's
rap.
like swag rap.
Yeah.
So
So would
that's why I
say
say pop rap.
so would you say he's a top urban art? I don't like it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's what you'd fall
That's
in.
the direction
bracket,
it's gone,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yo, is swag rap a thing though?
Swag rap is more just like, you know, like I always like think swag rap is similar to like what's that Drake album that Quentin was on as well.
Yeah.
That sort of views from the
Yeah.
not view from the
No.
single before
If
that.
you
So,
read this, it's too
yeah.
late.
Where it's all like very bouncy, easy
Zero to
hooks,
100.
like
Oh,
do you know what I'm saying? Like very, very simple. Do you know
Mm.
not lyrical at all.
So you'd say he's probably top as in terms of urban artist. Who would you say is top in terms of lyrics? As lyrical.
Dave.
Dave, I was about to say.
I mean, I don't like him like that though, but I can see.
I think Reekz for me.
Oh yeah.
But Reek's not really been busting, has he? I don't really heard anything.
About just now or
I'm talking about now.
overall?
I still think he's got a few. Sure, he's got a track out now. I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, I do prefer Reekz over
Dave.
Yeah.
I think Reekz has got a few in it.
I like Dave for wordplay.
Did you say who's Dave? Did you say who's Dave?
Who's Dave?
You know Dave.
Everybody knows Dave, innit?
Pop Dave.
Golden Balls, man.
Dave Bautista, yeah?
Dave Bautista.
Yeah, we'll score you up on Dave. We'll score you up on Dave. You really only listen to flipping
Styles.
The last one we was talking, the last pod we was talking about female rappers didn't have a clue.
Not really.
MJ knew 1 track, no 5 tracks of MJ. I'm gonna have to give you a little playlist. I'm gonna make a playlist for you.
You won't listen to it.
Yeah, you won't listen to it.
It's like doing salsa and that.
No, that's not a shot. That's not a shot. That's
Yo, the way that you said it, bro.
It was a
Yes,
shot.
man,
It
it was
was
a
a
shot.
shot.
I'm not saying
Okay.
what he said wasn't
Okay.
a shot. How he said it was a shot.
Accountability. Was it a shot, mate?
No.
Liar!
Real man. Real man.
Talk to the mirror, bro.
Real man. Real bad.
No?
Eugene just telling you what to do, yeah?
No, I said it.
Go open the window. Go open the window, Justin.
Cool. But
No, record it.
oh my gosh, he's telling you. He's told you to record. Don't be vexed. He's told you to record.
Yeah, man, it's
So
been
you're live. No, but right now, for me, UK at the minute, I'm listening to a lot of Low Scare. I like his tunes at the minute. Fredo.
I didn't like his album, you know. Yeah. I thought for his first studio album,
It weren't great.
Too much of the same.
But gigs as well. So
You might listen to M Huncho.
Yeah.
But even with gigs, I can't take the same cadence for every song, man. James Madeline doing them dirty,
Yeah.
Perky. Like, when I know the whole song's gonna be like from like track 10 to 12, I can get a couple of the gas ones. I think it's good in the rave. But for me, I can't.
Listen, when I came down to your event, Rum and Ribs, shout out to Rum and Ribs gang. That's all. My co-driver, that's all I want to listen to. Gigs. I have to listen to 2.5 hours of gigs.
I rate him though. I can't.
Pause.
I can't. Not for hours.
You can't listen to it for hours, bro. Like,
half an hour max.
I do respect fully of it, and he's got bangers. He's got the national anthem. He's got the national anthem, but. Yeah, I know what you're saying about it being repetitive.
They've actually got a film called The Essence made around his new
Most
of the tunes are from his album.
I like.
In fact, how it ended was the brethren stealing his girl.
No.
So watch that half an hour film. The Essence. It's good. Worth a watch.
I think it was on
YouTube. Yeah, it's worth a watch still.
Okay, Fergie time. To finish off. I don't know if you've seen the PFA Team of the Year. There's a few noticeable absences and a few inclusions. Should we just go straight to it?
Yeah, straight to it. I don't know how Pogba's made Team of the Season.
And that's very honest of you.
Yeah, I don't know how he's made that.
Team of the Season, yeah.
I don't know how he's
So
made
we'll
that.
go. If I remember the lineup, it was Allison in goal. It was Edison. Sorry, my apologies.
Trent
and Robertson, Van Dijk and Laporte.
Fernandinho, Bernardo
Silva.
And then Aguero, Sterling,
and
Mane.
Okay. Yeah. So I think the only people who should have been included, Hazard.
Yeah.
Obviously,
yeah, but when you put all the stats and you see what he's done,
he's big. Like I think I said it in the group. When he's out, I think I said it in the fantasy football group. When he's out of Chelsea, they're like Crystal Palace or West Ham. When he's in, when he's not playing, they are that bad. So I think he should have been included. Now,
man from Wolves as well. I'm surprised he's not in there.
Which one?
Striker.
Never saw him in the midfield.
Jimenez, man. I'm surprised he's not in there.
I don't know.
I don't think he would.
Yeah, not ahead of Aguero. And And I think
yeah,
If
looking at
you're
I
not
think-
going to use them, then you're looking at man like Aubameyang, even Salah.
Don't say Obama and then even Salah. Salah would be way in front of Obama.
Yeah, even Salah. That's an
He's
aside.
on top goal scorer at the moment. Salah.
Oh, I don't know. Man. I don't.
He's
Yeah,
on top of him from where, isn't it?
yeah. But I think even Trent Alexander, I think Doherty's got a claim. I think the Crystal Palace right back's got a claim.
Wan-Bissaka,
Yeah, I think there's obviously City and Liverpool are head and shoulders, but I think player for player, I think some players have had equally.
I was saying that some of these lower league players, like low league teams, have had some outstanding players.
Like in terms of numbers as well.
Like that have been playing well all season.
And I think Pogba's only got in due to the fact that he's double figures in both assists and goals.
He's top goal scorer for midfielder, but for me, he doesn't bring enough.
No,
so
who would you have to replace him though? Because if he's one of the midfielders,
I think
Eriksen. I think
Eriksen's sick. But there's a few like Son. I think he was unlucky.
Well, I don't know if he can play.
I don't know if he can play in that position, but if he is a forward, but
I think that's the issue. That in terms of
he
midfield,
falls into a midfielder. De Bruyne's better. Well, I think he's sick. Whenever he comes back from injury, he's always sick. But he's always injured, so I can see why he's been omitted.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't think.
Yeah, but
even he had a better season. I don't think he's had a better season than Pogba.
But Pogba might as well be injured himself because I don't see him half the time on the pitch.
But that's what I mean. I think we can say that he hasn't played as well as we know he can. But I don't know if there's anyone in that position in centre mid. Obviously, there's players because we can list 5-10 players who's played better. But as a midfielder, what midfielders would you say is had other than Eriksen? I think Eriksen's the only one in that 3 midfield who could potentially have replaced him. When you think of all the top 6 teams, Arsenal, I don't know what midfielders. Chelsea. Not like say even Kante's had a bad season.
But that's not his fault. They played him out of position.
Well, you're a footballer, mate. Like,
I
mean,
he's not that kind of.
Yeah, he's not that. But you can't have a bad season and blame your position.
Of course you can. He's won the World Cup and the Premier League back to back, playing in his position.
Yeah, but I've seen him
moved out of position.
I've seen him give the ball. Yeah,
but that's not his role.
Yeah, but
he's
got to still be able to
get
play
the ball back.
I've seen him right.
Get the ball back. Yeah, but that's not his game. His game is to get the football back, and that's it. That's what he's good at. That's what he's good at.
Yeah,
they've killed him.
I still feel that partly he hasn't had the best season because he hasn't played well, not just because of position. I don't think he's
not good enough to play that position because his technical attributes get exposed because he can't pass.
I tell you who, and it burns me to say it, who I would probably consider on a short list. Henderson.
Really? Not just a recent thing.
Yeah, I think
all season.
He's not really played, mate.
The past 3 weeks, he's done all right. Like
he's only played because Fabinho has been defensive midfielder. Because before,
done well.
That's what I mean. Since he's put there, he's got a bigger shout. He's only then started.
He was on the bench and that, and he was moaning,
really
and then he got brought in and he did well. But like I said, the past
not
3 weeks to a month, 2 months maybe, he's done all right, but not for team of the season.
Yeah,
because then you have to start considering like Milner and
they do rotate quite a bit. Liverpool's midfield. Last bit.
In fact, Wijnaldum.
You think he should have been in?
He would have a shot as well with Eriksen.
Yeah. Okay, so are we okay with the team? So Sterling, dead cert. Do you think he should get player of the year?
Sterling,
100%.
Personally, yeah.
I still think he's going to win it. To be fair.
Yeah. Aguero.
Sorry, have you man seen Sterling in what's that English league? The international cup that they do.
Oh yeah.
Fucking hell, he's been turning up, boy.
Yeah. He always got a hat trick
in the last game, innit? Yeah.
He always got a hat trick in the Champions League.
He turned out that game.
Yeah.
For big game occasions, like he's definitely been here.
Well, if you look at Pep's rotation policy, it's near enough everyone apart from him. Edison. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
And I always kind of saw him in a similar lane to like Theo.
Yeah.
And which is kind of flat in a way. Do you know what I mean? When they just sort of run towards the corner flag. I've seen his like game evolve. Yeah. Like over the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, if you think of who they've got, Sane, Mahrez, and there's few of it. He's a starter. You've got to think what he's also shown in training, not just obviously the numbers he's putting up in matches, but what's shown in training must be like a madness. I think I said this in the earlier podcast. I think this is before he got the hat trick for England. That I think is England's best player by a country mile. I think is England's best player. Moving on slightly to NBA. Clutch. Who do you think is the most clutch in
What do you
NBA?
mean by clutch? Like,
What does that mean?
In the dying seconds.
Dying
of the game.
seconds
so
of
many clutch I know is in fucking Carbland.
You burned that out, innit? You burned out your clutch, innit?
Not necessarily.
Just
like, it's just
at the
who,
buzzer.
yeah, who can either dictate the play and get.
What about you? What do you think, Reekz? Who do you think is the most clutch in the NBA? For NBA is your field.
Yeah, no, I like NBA. You know what it is again? Nah, straight up, yeah.
So you like NBA?
Well, he's about to say, let's
Why
see
does
what
it
he
feel
says.
like you're about to?
Slate it or
Yeah.
somehow.
I'm not about to say anything.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say, yeah.
You're not invested enough. He's
Is
consistent.
that it?
Serious, bro.
He's
Like, you see, I was just in my mind. I was just thinking, you man, I just named a bag of names. Just you know everything about it. Like that's good for you, man. I just don't. You get me? Stuff like that, I just don't.
You
I
must have like
watching.
one person though.
No, genuinely, I don't. Because like you just watch different teams. Like LeBron is my that's kind of just obvious, isn't it? But no, I like
That's
LeBron.
what it
It's
is.
yours,
That's
man.
what
Like,
it is.
But like, I'm not that bothered. Do you know what I mean? I'm just not that.
I'll be
bothered.
honest. If we're gonna
I do
put
like
it
UFC
in-
though.
Oh my god.
I didn't hear what you said. What is that?
UFC,
UFC, yeah, like UFC.
Wrestling.
Wait,
What's
what?
wrestling?
I'm not confused.
UFC is completely different.
So are you invested in
I'm not
UFC?
invested, but
Oh.
I can.
You stay up and
name
watch
a
it,
few
yeah?
names. I have stayed up to watch that before. Yeah.
Invest some
Just time
time.
away.
So you invested
Time away.
Invest some time.
Bloody hell.
I'm away. I might get in from wherever I've been and then watch.
This guy.
All nighters, yeah.
This guy.
Funny guy. You're okay, funny guy, you know. This guy.
Alright, so, Hezz, who you think is the most clutch in NBA?
There's only one person.
Who?
Kyrie.
I'm agreeing. I'm in agreement. Yeah, you're a B-ball, aren't you?
Nah,
you're not.
nah.
Not anymore. You used to be,
I
innit?
used to be, but I
Yeah.
just like there's too many breaks for me. I ain't got the patience for it, man.
Yeah, I do prefer.
I like playoff time. Like
Yeah,
when
that's
playoffs,
what I was gonna say. Yeah, playoff time.
So-
That's where I'm a bit more.
Talking about clutch, fam. The way Dame Lillard ended OKC is raw.
Oh, was that the brother that was in the white jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen the clip of that.
You saw that?
Yo, he
And
pulled
he's
up
the
from
wave.
three. Dude,
Yeah.
like he was far away
Yeah.
from the basket.
But
That's
that's-
the game-winning
yeah,
shot.
that's the thing, like-
from three. And the
I see.
way, because obviously between him and Russell Westbrook, they've had a little bit of back and forth, and people are always
No idea who
comparing.
it is.
You don't know who Russell Westbrook is?
No.
Oh, okay.
No Paul Pierce's though.
Right.
Larry Bird.
And Harry Bird. My guy, and Harry Bird. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. I feel like this is going to happen every single time I see
Yeah.
basketball.
I don't know there's much until the playoff final, baby. So yeah, I agree. I think Kyrie for me is the most clutch player that I see in the NBA currently.
Currently, anyway.
Yeah, but there's a few that on the next level. But I think that could be it for today,
If I was
guys.
to walk past these people, yeah, I wouldn't have clued it up.
They'll just slam dunk on you, innit?
No, I mean still.
That's what I said. You know who they are because they're about 6 foot 8, bro.
A lot of people are 6 foot big to me still, not gonna lie.
Not 6 foot, bro. 6 foot 8, bro.
Wait,
Like,
what's
I don't know
your twos? I didn't hear what he said. What's your twos love interest? That basketballer
Hey?
that you follow
What
on
love
Insta?
interest? Why? I don't know.
Oh, Jen Wolf.
Jen Wolf. Do you know?
Who?
Do you follow her as well?
Who's
Oh,
that?
it's Bedderz, isn't it?
Is this you two?
Fire still.
Yeah.
Is the one that falls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You follow her.
Nah, but I haven't looked in it.
Was you invested in the journey?
100%.
And it's on to return,
Yeah.
yeah.
Alright, this has been another episode of DJM. Don't judge, man. Catch us on the rebound. Peace.
Merky, Lie. My brothers don't die, we just rusty.